Welcome to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Braylon Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Running pattern to Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Where we bring you the best in sports, entertainment, and insight. Join us every weekday from 2 to 4 p.m. as we break down the latest games, analyze the biggest plays, and dive into the hottest topics in sports. We'll have exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes and guests, and you'll get a front row seat to all the action. So tune in to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Got one-on-one going end zone. Edwards in the air. Oh, what a catch by Braylon Edwards. His second touchdown of the game.
On the Woodward Sports Network, where sports comes to life.
Even Kool-Aid's hat can deter us here today from smiling and enjoying the sunny weather and being excited about being on the Braylon Edwards Show yet again. Hi, everybody. Glad you're with us. He is the man. He is Braylon Edwards. He is here with us today, as is Kool-Aid and Ryan, and we've got a very special guest coming up. The first ever high school player of the week on the Braylon Edwards Show, courtesy of our good friends at Smoothie King. And
shout out
yes,
Smoothie King.
Here's what Braylon did. You talk about a guy
this
who's
is what Smoothie King does for us.
Yeah,
this
but
is how good
you know,
they are.
to your credit,
Hey, thank you, Braylon.
you do think of other people. I mean, and so I was talking about Smoothie King the other day, trying to expand my horizons. Braylon gave me a cinnamon, almost like a cinnamon coffee, something like that.
Deal,
and it was
espresso type deal.
yeah, and it was pretty damn good. And I said, because I always get strawberry banana. What does he bring in for me today? Strawberry banana. So it's a beautiful thing.
Braylon, so yesterday I left the chocolate-covered Smoothie King almonds on my counter at home. And all of a sudden, I get a text from my mom in the family group chat. She goes, whoever's chocolate-covered almonds, I ate them all. And I go, yeah, those were mine, Mom, but thanks. She's like, well, I let the dog out, ate a couple, and I was like,
That's pretty
these
good.
are good.
Then you
and
can't
she
stop.
ate the
It's
whole
pretty
bag.
good.
Can't
So,
stop.
You know what? Not a problem at all. We'll get you guys a bag of your own. So I'll make sure I have that for you guys. You know what, Shep? I must say, I might have to apologize. You were talking about a specific quarterback and how well he plays with a specific team, and I said, no, he's not good. It's going to come to its end. It is what it is. I don't know. I feel like Mac Jones did some things last night.
This is what I love about football.
Yeah.
You don't know. I mean, not even the smartest people, and you're one of the smartest football people I've ever met, and if you don't believe it, just look at his Braylon breakdowns. We've done a number of them this week. There are so many surprises. Right. I mean, for them to just drive down the field on the Rams, who are a good football team, and then seem to handle the pushback and then win that game in overtime and do what they did, I was really stunned. I don't think it's just Mac Jones by any stretch, but it was an interesting way for him to fight his way through a knee injury.
I would say two things. Thing one, I think watching the Rams defense kind of scared me a little bit about the Lions defense, because the Rams defense is solid everywhere except one spot.
Corner.
It is the secondary
Yeah.
position, and they have been getting abused. That's pretty much been their Achilles heel
You're right.
in their losses, or when they have guys when teams come close. So watching that game was kind of like a mirror image, like, hey, Detroit, this is what it could look like. You can have a D front, a linebacker core that's doing everything they're supposed to be doing, but if you're getting beat, you're giving up players down the field. But getting back to Mac Jones, it's a conversation that we're continuously having this season. When you get a quarterback that has potential and you put him with somebody that's going to be competent, meet him where he is, take care of him, whether it's Daniel Jones and Shane Steichen, whether it's Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, first started by Sean McVay, or Sam Darnold. In the last two stops he's made, that's what you see with Mac Jones. Interesting, Dan Orlovsky made a comment 2 years ago, and he was talking about Brock Purdy. He said if you gave Mac Jones the Brock Purdy position, he would do well with San Francisco. Fast forward 2 years later, here he is doing well with San Francisco, and the original quarterback whisperer, Kyle Shanahan, he has to have a hand in that, because he was the original quarterback whisperer. Everybody that plays in San Fran, they have a level of success because of the system.
And then suddenly Kendrick Bourne becomes a really important piece.
Picked
How
him up
good
on
was
fantasy
he?
last night.
Very smart. You told
Yes,
me
sir.
that. You texted me that.
Thank
and
you,
just,
Maz.
you know what I did? I did the exact same thing. But Christian McCaffrey, I mean, getting the ball in his hands, credit with the offensive line for sure, but getting the ball in his hands made a huge difference for San Francisco. We didn't think a couple of weeks ago that Cleveland could beat Green Bay. We didn't think last week that Carolina could beat Atlanta, or 2 weeks ago. That's the beauty of what the National Football League does. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that the league does, but, man, every single Sunday, you just don't know. And as good as Mac Jones was, Matthew Stafford was just as good, 389 yards and 3 touchdowns. But it does show you, if you turn the ball over and you have a crappy kicker, and the Rams seem to have missed an extra point, missed a field goal, and did a stupid thing on the kickoff, not getting it inside the is it the 30 or the 20-yard line, right? They gave them the ball at the 40-yard line. In overtime, I believe. It's just it was ridiculous, but it was a hell of a football game.
So when you look at the game like that, when you look at how it played out with the Rams, how much of the game are you looking at and saying, you know what, I still believe in the Rams at this level. However, bad secondary and you can't fumble. Kyron Williams fumbled. Kyron Williams dropped passes.
Yeah.
Blake Corum fumbled. Blake Corum dropped passes. And then at the end, you had the dumbest, I think it was the dumbest play call of the year so far by Sean McVay. I think it was a dumb play call. We'll get into that later, but you look at all that. Are they still a good team that had a bunch of snafus happen, or is this a part of the makeup?
Yeah, I believe in them. I believe in them because of, I think Devontae Adams is outstanding. I think Puka Nacua is unbelievable. He's got 52 rocks.
Strong, too.
Unbelievable. I do like Kyron Williams. He fumbles too much for me. Obviously Stafford, but I love Jared Verse and Brandon Fisk, and I think they've got some guys up front. I don't know if I was more impressed with San Francisco's offensive line or more disappointed in the Rams' defensive line last night.
I think impressed with the offensive line. When you're going against a defensive line that's well and is led with Gerard Verse, and you saw how much of a man-child he was last year. When you start with a defensive line like that and you hold them to no sacks until literally the last 2-3 minutes of the game, that's saying something. And this is an offensive line that's been touted as a really good offensive line, lacking Trent Williams. But they kept a non-mobile quarterback up the entire game, and they kept him clean. And he made some plays, and he made some maneuvering and stepping up in the pocket. But he really won me over last night in terms of just his effort. There was a lot said about Mac Jones when he left the New England Patriots. There was more said about Mac Jones when he left the situation with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So you're just thinking, like, this guy's career is over. This is what it is. Fast forward, this Mac Jones, you see the intensity? You see how hard he fought last night? Knee messed up. He had the spasms. He had everything.
Byron Young buried him and fell on top of him. And he kept getting up.
That's something you pay attention to.
I
do.
I give him credit.
Yeah.
I didn't know enough. My fault. I didn't know enough about Nate Landman. I think most of the linebackers I measure in the National Football League, there's one guy I hold in the highest regard, and that's Fred Warner. I think he's an absolute beast. I love him in the middle. Like, if I could start a linebacker core, that's the guy I would start with right now. Yeah. And I love Jack Campbell. You know that. Landman had 14 tackles, I think 2 pass defended, and a tackle for loss. He was everywhere. He's an absolute animal in the middle for the Rams. Really impressed with those guys. So really excited. I mean, I love that about sports in general, to be honest with you. I mean, you just never know. Look at what the kid did for the Yankees last night. I know he got his name tortured all the time when he was growing up, Schittler. But you're 6'6". I think there's going to be a lot of people who say, hey, hold on. I love that about sports, that out of nowhere you could see some type of heroism or heroic effort on the part of one specific player. You got to be a pretty good local hero to win our Player of the Week on the Braylon Edwards Show, sponsored by Smoothie King. We have our first one crowned. Yes, that is a pun on Smoothie King. 100%. First one crowned this week, and we are honored to bring him in right now. Braylon, who gets it this week, the Smoothie King Player of the Week?
Well, the Smoothie King Player of the Week has to be an individual that exudes it on and off the field. We want to make sure they meet the criteria. We want to make sure they value the same things that we and Smoothie King value. So this week's Player of the Week, Smoothie King Athlete of the Week, it's none other than an individual that I've known since he's younger. And when you see the last name, I promise you, we did vet the process. We vetted the process, and he is more than deserving. You look at what this young man has done through 5 games in his high school senior season, 79% passing, 1,211 yards, 18 touchdowns, and also he can get busy on the ground too, 118 rushing yards and 3 tutties. He give Jared Goff a run for his money right now.
Right now he would, yeah.
That he's having. Let's bring him in. He's Celine. Quarterback 1, he is Tommy Carr. Tommy, what's going on, brother?
How's it going?
It's going good, man. Tell me about this miraculous season that you have, man. You're cooking teams by 40 points or more, and you're just slinging the pill out there. 8 touchdown passes and 1 rushing in a game. What's it like? How are you able to achieve this level of success in this squad?
Yeah, it comes back to the off-season work and all the meetings and everything that we've done to prepare for this season, and then we're just going out there and playing football, and we're executing at a high level right now, and we got to continue to do that.
So we want to tell you, winning this award, this will give you free smoothies from Smoothie King through all of 2026. So you and your boys, you and everybody at the school, you guys can turn up. And there is a Smoothie King in Ann Arbor, so there's access to it right there. And also, they have swag for you. They have merch, so you'll have access to that as well. We want to make sure that you are taken care of. Big game tonight for you, Ann Arbor Huron. I will be at the game sitting next to a guy I know so well, Coach Carr. Talk about this team and what you're expecting to do tonight.
Yeah, we got guys everywhere. We got a great O-line, great coaching, and great weapons on the outside. So we're looking to put on a show. We're gonna, run the ball, throw the ball, do a little bit of everything, but we're just hoping to come out on top.
Tommy Carr is the Smoothie King High School Player of the Week here on the Braylon Edwards Show, and he's joining us live. Tommy, when you prepare for games, people think it's you putting on a helmet, going out, running your plays on the practice field, but it's a lot more than that. How much of a film hog are you, and how much does your team take that to heart, knowing that that's such an important piece to success?
Yeah, our Monday practice is just pretty much film. Like, it's all film. We take film seriously. We film every practice, so just watching every practice. But me personally, it's meeting with head coach, my quarterback coach, just getting in as much film as possible. Also on downtime, just getting to know our opponent a little bit better. So when you go into that game, you're as confident as you can be.
It's obvious as a quarterback, you've got to be a leader. What kind of leader are you?
More of a quieter guy. But when it's on the field, those emotions are going, and I'm leading, I'm rallying the troops. So it's more of a not hoorah giving the pregame speech, but I'm out there leading them, telling what they got to do, and just making everyone around me better.
How have you handled the recruiting process? I know, at least verbally, committed to Miami, Ohio, the Redhawks, so congratulations to them because they're getting a hell of a player, and it's a beautiful school. I'm a MAC guy, but how did you handle that process, and what was it like going through it?
Honestly, I had a little bit of an advantage. Obviously my brother, he gave me, I got to see how it went for him, so I got tips going in there. But it was just a great process, just meeting all the coaches and getting to see around schools, and I think I found the school for me.
Yeah, it's funny you say you're talking about the MAC. You say you love the MAC, obviously, and you're committed right now to the Miami Redhawks. Your father, when he was working in Central Michigan, that was the first major offer that I had on the table was Central. Fire up Chits. He, Coach Milligan, Coach DeBoard up there. So fire up. That was the first offer I had until your grandfather, after the Wisconsin game, told me that I was going to the University of Michigan. You mentioned your brother. He's having a lot of success out there in Notre Dame. Some tough losses, very quick losses this year. Close games. What do you see for this next game and the rest of the season for CJ?
Yeah, I was at the first game. Obviously, it was his first start, so they were going to get him going into
Play
it.
well.
But he showed that. Yeah, he showed that he could play. And then these past, first two games, like you said, hard opponents, tough losses. Mm-hmm. But I think they found their rhythm now. And, their last game was a beatdown, honestly. So hopefully they can continue to do that. They got Boise tomorrow. So I'm hoping for the same outcome.
How do you help one another and push one another?
Yeah, I mean, we are two of the most competitive people, not just football, but if we're playing tennis, we're playing pickleball, something like that, we're talking back to each other. So that's always like an advantage. But then when he was here during my football career, I got to sit behind him and just see how he sees things. And that truly helped me and just in the mental aspect of the game and has helped me become who I am today.
Yeah, that's dope, man. One thing with Smoothie King, that we've gone to them in the space of refueling proteins, the nutrients, the things, the granola, the way in which they work. Talk to us a little bit about your fitness journey. It's gotten back important to me, but I know you're a little bit younger. Part of that getting ready for the season is a lot of fitness in line. What are you dialed into eating-wise?
Yeah, off season, put in a lot of work. Still in season, trying to maintain.
Yeah.
Obviously you can't go too hard, but you still got to do what you got to do to keep that strength and make sure you're eating right. But I've just been trying to eat as much as I can, trying to gain weight, get bigger, and that'll continue to come as I go to college and continue. But just trying to get stronger each and every day.
Tommy Carr is the Braylon Edwards Smoothie King High School Player of the Week. Your team is averaging 48 points per game. In the season opener, you beat number 4 Rockford 37-28, and against Dexter, who's got a pretty damn good quarterback themselves, Cooper Arndt, you had 500 yards and 9 touchdowns, 8 of them through the air, 1 on the ground. Your last name, we were talking about Braylon's son the other day. The last name can be awesome to be part of. It can also be very difficult to live up to. What have you experienced with it, and how have you handled it?
Yeah, no doubt. There's expectations that come with it, but honestly, you just gotta ignore that and just go. I know who I am, and I know that I'm a great football player. So I'm gonna just go out there and do me and block out the outside noise.
That's fire.
All right, before we let you get out of here, man, we know you do have class to get to. What class are you out of right now, by the way?
I'm out of math right now.
Okay. Don't worry, I'll write you.
Hey, we've got some good math for you. 1,200 yards, 80%, 18 touchdowns, 2 picks. How's that? That's pretty good math.
There you go. Have you been dialed into the Lions season the last couple of years and watch how they've come around and how they've turned this thing around? You play the quarterback position. A guy by the name of Jared Goff is having a hell of a year this year, and he's really been playing well the last 3 years. When you watch Jared Goff's game, what do you see?
It's consistent. Consistent. He's making he's not a mobile guy, but he's sitting in the pocket. He has great pocket movement and awareness, and he's hitting guys in the face mask every time. So he's just doing his job, and with the weapons around him, I mean, it's special, and that's a fun group to be around, and he's doing exactly what he has to do.
You had mentioned a lot of the talent on your offense. What's the relationship with Lincoln Keys, who's a Georgia commit, and some of the other, let's make it more than just about Tommy Carr. Shout out to some of the guys on your offense that are helping you put up the numbers you put up.
No doubt. Lincoln Keys, obviously. A lot of these guys have been some of my best friends just growing up. So we got that the chemistry. Lincoln Keys, I've been around him, played football with him since 6th grade. Same with number 8, Austin Abbott. Yeah. Cruz Hansen, he's a younger guy. He's stepped up this year, made some big plays. And then just O-line, obviously, they're protecting, they're doing their job. I've only, 2 sacks this year. So that's nothing more you can ask for from the O-line. So we just got great people around us.
If you go to any concert right now with this crew of guys that's doing so well this season, what concert are you guys going to?
Concert. Wow.
Put him on the spot. What are 17-year-olds going to listen to these days?
Everyone, there was the Zach Bryan concert, but I'm not a big country guy, so a bunch of them were out there. But there's a Young Boy concert.
There we go. Respect.
There's one coming up in Detroit. That would be pretty sweet to go to.
See, I feel horrible. My man's Tommy's out here talking about going to see Young Boy. Meanwhile, I was in attendance at the Zach Bryan concert.
You were in the Zach Bryan concert. That's right.
So ashamed of myself right now. It was a fun time, though.
Hey, listen, continued success, man. Congrats on being Smoothie King's Braylon Edwards High School Player of the Week for the first one, and we'll be following you the rest of the season.
I will get in trouble if I do not say this, and I guarantee you Tommy knows I'm about to say, you please tell your mother, you please tell Tammy and Jason, I said thank you for allowing you to be the Smoothie King Athlete of the Week, because if they didn't give the okay, he wouldn't have been able to do it. So, Tammy, love you. Thank you, Jason.
Congrats, man.
Congrats to that, Tommy.
Thank you.
All right, good stuff. Tommy Carr from Saline High School, really good program. They have built that program into a championship contending program. You set that record of 500 yards through the air, 8 touchdowns, 1 on the ground, and putting up the numbers he's put up. It's pretty obvious why he's the Smoothie King, Braylon Edwards High School Player of the Week this week.
I was literally trying to maintain up here. I don't know if you guys can tell. I've known Tommy since he was 7 years old. I've known him. I know CJ. I know the family. I know the family well. To watch those 2 individuals, they're not kids anymore. To watch them have the success they're having, and they're still so humble. They're such good kids, man. I'm proud. When I say proud, I feel like proud is an overused term. People just throw it out there a lot. Like, I truly am proud to say that I know Tommy and I know CJ, and I'm part of that family. Like,
when you grow up, or when you're there and you see a little kid growing into his football mind, his football body, carrying on a passion that you had for his sport, representing his school the right way, the way you did. I think it's there should be a lot of pride from you, no matter where he goes. There's a part of me that is really glad that CJ or Tommy didn't go to the University of Michigan, because sometimes it's almost too much.
So that's what I was going to say. That's the other side that I watched that part, because remember when the commit came down from CJ, everybody was confused, and it was, this, or why is he doing that, and this, that, and the third. He made the decision that this is where I want to go. It has nothing to do with who my father was, has nothing to do with who my grandfather was, has nothing to do with who my godfather is. Has everything to do with who I am. He made the decision, and now he's having success. So now Tommy can forge his own path as well. But that's strength by CJ. And that's just proud of him.
Has CJ Carr been better in his first year as a starter than maybe you thought, or is he about where you expected?
I would say yes. I would just leave it at that. I thought that he would have the opportunity to grow into a good quarterback or grow into a good player. He came out game one, and you're like, whoa, like the comeback at the end, like that's like you're like, no, there's something really there. So to have
he's also very calm.
Yeah,
and that's impressed me.
They get that from Jason, that AKA their father. Jason's super calm. He's always been chill. He even recruited that way. He coached that way at Central. Because when you watch Tommy's highlights, he's very calm in the pocket.
He is.
He's running around. He's breaking tackles, but he still never looks flustered. He never looks like he's doing much. Same as CJ. Yeah, you're right. They are very even kill type of guys, even kill type of quarterbacks.
Those are the guys. I say this all the time. You were a leader at every level, okay, in every sport.
You had to learn.
But when you get in a huddle, the quarterback, whether you like him or not, he's got to be the leader. He's the one calling the play. He's the one who has the football in his hands more than anybody else.
Yeah.
So he's got to be a leader. Have you ever played with guys who weren't calm, weren't patient, weren't unassuming, guys who were just too revved up and too frantic as a quarterback? And I'm not talking about in the pocket. I'm talking about in the huddle and things like that.
Trent Dilfer.
Really?
No, I'm just joking. I just despise my time with Trent Dilfer. See how I worded that? I didn't say I despise Trent Dilfer.
Yeah, right.
I despise my time with Trent Dilfer. Although he did throw me my very first touchdown, so I appreciate you for that. That's tough, because to give that information out is to.
Well, I don't want the name. I'm just wondering if you've ever done it, and what was it like? I mean, are guys looking around saying, this dude's got to calm down?
It's just one of those things where when a quarterback's at ease or a leader's at ease, it puts you at unease. Excuse me, when he's at unease, puts you at unease. It's like legitimately, he's calling plays, he's sporadic, he's a little bit all over the place, he may forget a thing or two. Things like that have you, what's going on? Like, so now when you're out there running routes, I'm not running my route with the mindset that shoot, boom, boom, route him up, get to my 16, bang, bang, come back, put 2 feet in the ground. I'm not operating under that space. I'm operating under the thought space. All right, here we go. I guess I'm going to get to 16 and turn around, and it's going to be all over the place, or it'll be disarray, or it'll be a sack, or it'll be a fumble, or the ball will be way too early or way too late. Like, that's what you operate when you see that type of franticness or that type of erraticness.
We all know the story, right? The Super Bowl story of Joe Montana and getting ready to take his team down the field, hopefully against Cincinnati, and Jerry Rice and all those guys are on the field, and they're in the middle of a TV timeout, right? And Harris Barton, his big offensive tackle, number 79, is almost hyperventilating.
Yeah.
And John Candy, during the TV timeout, says, "Hey, H, look at that over there. There's John Candy." Because John Candy was in the end zone. And Harris Barton is just like, "Oh, yeah, that is John." And it just relaxed him for just a moment. And then they could get back to playing. Joe Montana that's why they called him Joe Cool. That's why he was so cool. Just relax. Everything's going to be fine. And that makes everybody probably say, follow me. I'll be there. What happened earlier this year? Or no, in the series quarterback. Remember, you were talking about it. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Hey, what's going to be our touchdown dance? And Jared Goff's like, I don't have time to think about that.
So, look, man,
I'm just focused on the game.
I'm worried about, is it shifting to cover 2? Is it safety slide? And who's going to go with you? Is it going to be double team on your side? Maybe I'm going to hit a J-Mo down the field. Is Khalif going to come open late? Like, are they? Yeah, the quarterbacks do have to think about a lot. And I think it was one of those things where it wasn't until I got to the NFL, maybe not even until year 3, 4, 5, where you just realize the work that has to be put in by a quarterback to actually be successful. Like, if you want a franchise to have some level of success, And whether with that success is making it to the playoffs, whether it's to the conference, whether it's the whole dance, that work by a quarterback is like no other. You are dialing to hours and hours and hours of film. You're changing plays. You're putting in the smallest nuances on the play just because you're switching from the Bucks to the Philly, who play that they play that offense a little bit different. It's kudos, and that's why the ones that flame out, yeah, they had the talent, but they didn't have the wherewithal to stay in the fight. Because if you want to be a great quarterback, you got to stay in the fight. It is. I don't envy it.
Yeah, that mental challenge is unbelievable. I would say this though: there's some Lions coaches who have talked about other positions who are staying in the fight, preparing, and now those coaches are comparing these players to some of the greatest of all time. We'll get to that as we roll on this good-looking Friday and a fun Friday on the Braylon Edwards Show here on Woodward Sports. But first, a word from Smoothie King.
Yeah, look, it's a great Friday, and I started the right way. I started it with Smoothie King, and we continued it with the Smoothie King high school athlete. Congratulations to Tommy Carr. Again, he deserved it. You saw the stats, but he's listening like any other athlete we have. They dial into the basics and the smart things. Recovery, that's where winners are made. Smoothie King has the clean ingredients, real fruit. That's the key, real fruit. They aren't giving you that BS. They're giving you real fruit protein that help refuel the body and get you back to feeling like yourself. And don't miss it. Every Friday, like today, you'll get the next Smoothie King High School Athlete of the Week. Scan this QR code to make your submission for the Athlete of the Week.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. Ever wonder what goes on inside the game?
Deep ball's got a man and got him. Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Join Braylon Edwards and Shep.
Edwards has it. 10-5, touchdown.
On the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Barr looks in zone. Got Edwards for the touchdown.
Where they dive deep into the heart of sports. Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m., they're bringing you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and a fresh perspective on the sports you love. Don't miss it, only on the Woodward Sports Network.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Every Sunday, there's only one place to get all your kneecapping, hard-hitting Detroit Lions coverage. Start your Sunday with the Lions Weekly Report with Broder and Terry Foster. Then, the Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Baligian. At kickoff, keep it locked in for all the emotions of the game with a live watch party with the heavyweights. Then, recap the game with the Lions postgame show with Anson. Game days, there's no other place to be than Woodward Sports. Live all game day. Go Lions. Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com. You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports. The Super Bowl parade in Detroit will be one for the record books. Detroit just does it different. Woodward Sports, your official Super Bowl or Bust Lions network.
Ben is the fighter, so let him fight for you. What's up, Doc?
Hey, Doc,
we'll talk
you're
to you
here.
a little bit later. Doc's in
Oh, that's
studio.
beautiful. All right.
Corporations. Corporations and even the government, Doc, hush up over there. Even your insurance company will do whatever it takes to minimize their liability with you guys and withhold your compensation. We don't want them to withhold anything from you, so you go to Ben Johnson and you let him fight for you. Make sure he gets the ducats that belong in your pocket. When something goes wrong, he's your first call, not your second. Contact him at benfights.com.
You see how he's in the middle of a Ben Johnson read, and then he just calmly and coolly says, "Hey, Doc, hush up over there. I'm in the middle of doing something." We don't want you to hush up this Sunday. We want you to be loud. We want you to be proud. And Art and Jakes want you to eat and drink and be merry, especially if the Lions are going to beat the Bengals. And we think they will. Why? Well, because the heavyweights are going to be live at Art and Jakes Sports Bar and Grill in Northville, 425. We want you to be there, and we want you to stick around for the postgame show afterwards with Anson and Stick. You're going to enjoy wall-to-wall coverage, 80 TV sets, 22 draft beers for you. It's a great time, an awesome time. Be there if you're a Lions fan and want to win and watch a fun show, the heavyweights, 425, right there at Art and Jake's in Northville and Woodward Sports.
Hold on, so side note.
Hey,
I believe that I think I'm going to pull up on the heavyweights at Art and Jake's. Art and Jake's is literally, I know exactly where that's at. It's on 6 Mile and Haggerty. My dad doesn't live too far from there. You know what? I'll see you guys at Art and Jake's.
You're set, right?
Hey,
You're
so
going.
I'll be at Art and Jake's.
Okay.
I live right around the corner, too. So
You and I were talking during the break about the football game last night.
Yes.
Do you agree with going forward on 4th down and 1 from about your own or about the San Francisco 11-yard line in overtime and you're trailing by 3?
Hear me out on this.
Okay.
Division on the line, just for right now. Division on the line. I guess Seattle's in there as well. They're in the mix. Like, please don't get to 4th and 2 and 4th and 1 and take out your running back who's fumbled earlier in the game, who is your power back, who is your bigger back. Please don't go away from that and bring Kyron Williams in and run it. My issue with it is you called timeout.
Yeah.
So the timeout led me to believe that, oh, you know what? Let's put the ball back in Matt Stafford's hand, who has about 5,000 yards passing this game and has figured it out. Let's give him an opportunity to see what we see. If you want to go for it on 4th and 2, they call timeout, they come back in, and they run an off tackle play for no gain.
Yeah. I think they should have gone for it. I have no problem with it. When you don't make it, you're always suspect to criticism.
You got the best wide receiver tandem in the league right now.
So this is what I was going to say, and this is easy for me to say it because it's armchair quarterbacking. What I can't figure out for the life of me is in the NFL, even in college, everybody's jumbled up in the middle, right? Mm. Everybody. You don't have an 8-man box. You have an 11-man box. Why in the world does everybody feel like, I know the shortest between two distance straight line. Why does everybody feel like this is what I've got to do? Why not get creative? Now, Stafford doesn't move real well, but you've got Puka Nacua. You've got Devontae Adams. How about a quick out? I mean, you trust the guys, right? How about a quick out, have them line up real close to the tight end, almost crack down, and then just branch out for a minute and get the first down that way?
It's the same reason why Pete Carroll didn't run the ball and he chose to pass the ball to Russell Wilson. They overthink it. Like, you overthink it. Like, you literally could have spread the defense out and ran the ball if you wanted to run the ball.
Right. Yeah,
like, give them the appearance that this is going to be a pass, much like what we do. You tried to think, hey, you know what? They think we're going to pass, so we're running. They'll be a little soft in there, and they weren't.
Yeah.
And they weren't. It wasn't a good play call.
It wasn't. It shouldn't have come down to that, but it wasn't. I mean, there were 2 fumbles. Blake Corum fumbled. Kyron Williams fumbled.
But
their kicker was ridiculous. He missed a field goal and missed an extra point.
It's something with the kicker as well as the offensive line, the protection team, because they've had 3 kicks blocked so far this year on top of missing. Watching them, though, go forward on 4th down, I did think about something, though, Shep. When you watch the Lions go forward on 4th down versus any other team, shout out to the celebration shades. I see Ryan's in on it as well. When you go forward on 4th down in the NFL, legitimately – 30 teams are hoping they get a first down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they are hoping they get a first down. They're trying to get a first down. They're like, well, you know, we got a good shot to get a first down. But when you watch it, it looks like, it always feels like that. The Lions and Pat Mahomes and whatever the crazy stuff that he does from time to time, the Lions are the only team that it just feels like another play. It feels like another
right.
down.
You're right.
Like, when the Lions go 4 on 4, like, I'm almost in the kitchen. Like, I'm not trying to be too exaggerated, but I might go in the kitchen and go on my refrigerator. I don't treat it as it's 4th down. I'm on the edge of my seat. Are they going to get it?
Yeah.
The Lions, it's just you expect them to get it.
100%. That's so well put. That's exactly how I feel. It's almost as if, okay, I first of all, I know they're going for it. Yeah. And second of all, I'm very confident they're going to make it.
Like, if they would have gotten the first down,
they don't do what the Rams did last night.
If they would have gotten the first down, my response would be, they got it.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been my response. Like, okay, I didn't know, but cool. The Lions get a first down, you're like, duh, what was the next play call? I'm already thinking about what is the first down call going to be if it's not a touchdown.
I've never understood in any sport why you want to take the bat out of your best player's hands, don't have the ball in the hands of your best shooter, don't have your best player, defenseman on the ice in the offensive zone, or in the defensive zone, excuse me, and why you want to take the football out of the hands of the best player that you have on the field. Best player on the field last night was Matthew Stafford. Throwing for 389 yards, but I mean, he missed Tutu Atwell on a pocket throw up the left sideline that you don't see very often. But overall, he was incredible. All right, made a couple of really impressive throws. I don't know why. Hell, put Nakua in motion and flip it to him like they did in the Super Bowl with Cooper Kupp. Do it to Devontae Adams. Sean McVay's supposed to be, and I think he is.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be one of the most gifted offensive minds in football. He didn't act like one last night.
Yeah, and he came out and said it was a bad call, so at least he came out and admitted that it was a bad call. I think what he tried to do, let's go towards the right end. There's no Nick Bosa over there. We'll probably get a little bit soft. I would have just kept the ball in Matt Stafford's hand. Matt Stafford had a hell of a night, and then also he was cooking with grease towards the end of the game when Puka finally came alive. Kyron Williams had an iffy game. He scored 2 touchdowns, but there were some plays I bet Kyron Williams wished he could have back. I wouldn't have went to Kyron in that moment. I would have kept it with Stafford.
You bring up a really good question regarding any team, right? When do we think we know? Like, we think we knew about the Rams, and then you get surprised. You think you knew about Green Bay. You can get past losses.
Yeah.
I can get past losses. I call them justifiable losses. I think the loss at Green Bay, who I think is a good team, is a justifiable loss. Yeah. Had they lost in Baltimore, I would have at the time thought it was a justifiable loss. There are other teams or other losses, other performances that I have a hard time stomaching, and I question whether or not that team is good enough. I don't know if that's the case I feel with the Rams, but I'll tell you what, if you start doubting San Francisco, what you're going to end up doing is bringing back and saying, they did it without Purdy, they did it without Jennings, they did it with Ayuk, they did it without Kittle, and they did it without Bosa.
Yeah, 100%. The one thing I still shout out to my mom trying to come here. Slide the door sideways, Mom. She's made herself at home. I love you. What's up, Mom? What's up, Dad? How y'all doing? Y'all coming up? You good? You coming up? You good? Anyway, going back to the Rams and the 49ers yesterday, it's a rivalry game. Like, Robert Saleh knows the Rams. Robert Saleh knows Matt Stafford. Robert Saleh knows with that offense. He knows Sean McVay. These guys have been friends for years. He knows him. he dialed that defense up for that offense. And he did as much as he could. Now, he still tore him to shreds, but he did his lot. He did what he could. That's why he was so happy at the end of that game. So the mishaps that they had, the snafus that they had, you tie that into them knowing each other like that. Sean McVay knows Robert Saleh like that too. I say it's a wash, and the Rams are still really a good team, but the secondary bothers me.
How well did you get to know Robert Saleh when he was the head coach of the Jets? Knowing that you go there a little bit and you talk to guys and talk to front office people.
Robert Saleh actually was in Seattle when I was in Seattle.
Oh, wow.
He was in Seattle back in 2012. So
Bray knows everybody.
There's always a connection.
Bray,
I mean, Kevin Bacon's got nothing.
Goodness.
You know, they're always the different things with Kevin Bacon. He's got nothing on Braylon Edwards. Braylon has seen, coached under or played under a coach or played with just about every person that we talk about here on this show. It's amazing how it comes full circle.
And when I went to New York, he reminded me, all right, see you later, Dad. When I went to New York, he reminded me, so we were able to kind of talk about what was going on. And I always felt there was a sense of unease and just how things run in New York, and eventually we would see how that played out. But he loves defense. Like sometimes guys are coordinators versus head coaches. I think he loves players. I think he has great relationships with players. But when it comes to defense, he can dial some bleep up. You know, he can get guys to buy in, and that's his arena and that's his area. I think he was perfect to come back to San Fran. I wish he had all his horses in the stable so we could see what this defense would look like, but he was meant to be a defensive coordinator.
Well, I'll say this. If he can do what he did with that defense last night against that offense, when he does have all his horses in the stable, watch out.
You know what I loved about that defense? When when Mac Jones was coming off that field, limping and walking side by side, if you pay attention to some of those numbers that was shaking his hand and giving him love,
you're right.
They were defensive numbers.
Yes.
They appreciated the fight that he put forth last night. Last night I'm not going to lie, it was a very impressive performance from a player, but beyond just football.
Dude, you are reading my mind, because last night, and I never looked at it this way until I started doing it.
Because I don't like Mac Jones. So so for me to say this is I don't like what I perceive Mac Jones to have been based off commentary and based off how it looked with his teammates, not working with him, not helping him up, not talking to him in former teams. So I had a jaded perspective.
But I think it's a real perspective oftentimes when you watch. I never looked at it this way until I started doing games with Kirk Gibson. And Gibson used to look, if there was a fight, if there was a home run, if there was a game-winning play, he, instead of watching a guy, cross home play, he's watching to see who's the first guy out to congratulate him. If you're in a fight, who's the first guy to help him and support him and get your back. Last night, I was thinking exactly the same thing. Mac Jones is limping off the field. There are three defensive guys who came over and were like, hey, man, we appreciate you. That is respect. That is leadership. That is guys going, you know what? This dude's a baller. He's out there to play for me. I'm playing for him too.
Yeah, because when you have certain players and certain quarterbacks, certain things, you're missing players and all this, it doesn't take much for you to go the other way. It doesn't take but a couple plays for Mac Jones to throw an interception for a touchdown, and then they come out on offense and they go, and you're down 21 points. Now guys give up. Mac Jones is not trying, because no one went to rescue Jake Browning last week when it looked like that. Yeah. Now, he doesn't have an offensive line, but nobody went to rescue him. Yeah. But Mac stayed in the fight. Mac jumped out early. He said, I'm here to play. Defense is like, shoot, we can find some plays. Mm-hmm. Like, if you give us a touchdown, you give us a couple first downs, we'll get some stops. We'll get you a stop here or there, and it turns into something.
All right, I want to bring this up, and not to revisit our conversation yesterday, but I think it's really important. John Morton, the offensive coordinator for the Lions, has been around football for 27 years.
He was my coach.
He's coached some of the greatest wide receivers in the National Football League. Braylon. He's coached Jerry Rice. Yeah. He's coached Tim Brown. He's coached Anquan Bolden. He's coaching Amon-Ra St. Brown. This is what he said recently, and I read this from MLive, so credit where credit is due, okay? Really important to acknowledge the publication. He's a quarterback's dream. So John Morton says, Amon-Ra St. Brown is the best I've ever been around. And then I assume the bottom there, Kool-Aid, is from Jared Goff. Okay, I don't see that associated, but I'm going to assume it's from Jared Goff. He's a quarterback's dream to throw to and works tremendously hard, sets the tempo for us on offensive practice, does everything right. He's everything you want in a receiver, a teammate, and a leader. I love playing with him. Is that Jared Goff that you got that?
Jared,
okay,
yeah.
But the offensive coordinator, John Morton, says a lot more than just he's the best I've been around. He talks about what he's done, not just on the field, but you and I were talking about yesterday. The off-season dedication,
right?
The in the clubhouse, all those different things, super impressive, and it really makes you think. It makes you think of just how special of a player perhaps we're watching right now. So I just wanted to reinforce what you've said all along about Amon-Ra St. Brown. You said it before the season began, and you see what an offensive coordinator who's been around for a long time says the same thing about him. Tells you something.
It does. And I'm not going to take this comment the wrong way because I don't want to diminish the comment. I don't want to diminish the conversation. But it would have been interesting to see Johnny Moe have this conversation after working with Jerry in the 80s. Because he's clearly talking about working with him when he played for the Raiders, because Tim Brown and Jerry Rice were on the same team when they went to the Super Bowl, and they lost to John Gruden and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jerry's a lot older at that time. Yeah, this is a new team for Jerry. He still made the Pro Bowl. But, like, Jerry back in 1980s he's the penultimate. Like, he's arguably the best, greatest football player of all time. Like, so
you can make that argument.
100%. So, but I just had to get that out of there because there's a reason why he's here. He's the marker. He's who everyone's. He's the pace setter.
Yeah.
And until somebody stops it, he will be there. Now, with that being said, this is what we talk about. He's the best football player.
Yeah.
Like Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's a football player. Dials into every avenue, everything that he needs to be, everything that his team needs him to be, and everything that his side of the ball needs to be. And that's what we continue to talk about. That football player, he's damn good.
Yeah, and so let me just, to expound on the quote, he said, I've been around run and pass the way you prepare, the professionalism, the offseason work. Yeah. So it's the run, the pass. Again, this supports what you were saying yesterday. Right. The run, the pass, the preparation, the offseason workouts. It's the entire package, not just as a receiver, but an entire package as a football player. And you're right. He was probably seeing Jerry Rice, maybe not at his prime. Yeah. Jerry Rice in his prime, along with Lawrence Taylor, I would argue, are probably the two most, Aaron Donald, the most impressive players that perhaps I've ever witnessed watching play.
Very true. And I should have made the comment about Jerry Rice. I should have stuck with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like, he is obsessed with everything. He is obsessed with working out. He is obsessed with route running. He is obsessed with catching the football. He is obsessed with watching film. He's obsessed with seeing where this team can go. And he does not care who gets the success. He does not care who has the success because the end game. See, the people that have careers like Amon-Ra St. Brown are the people that don't necessarily care about. They're going to get theirs. Mm-hmm. Don't make no mistake about it. If you're not going to them and you aren't having success, they will let you know about on the sideline, rightfully so, because when you go to them, they have success. But they want everybody to eat, and they know it's only a matter of time before they do. So they do all the things.
Let me bring up one more quick quote, and then we'll move on. This is what else John Morton said. As I've said this before, he reminds me of Anquan Bolden. They just come to work. Yeah. All they want to do is dominate every single play. But I told him, I said, I don't really care what the coverage is. You're going to get open. I think he is just his attitude and how he approaches his preparation. I haven't seen it from a wideout like that ever. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, Anquan Bolden's not near the type of route runner that Amon-Ra St. Brown is. Like, not comparing them, just like the things, just taking it to another level. But what Anquan did, Anquan played physical. He played aggressive. He played for the team. He would make the big play.
Even though he's only 6 feet, he's a big receiver.
And you talking about who's that first one to have your back?
Yeah.
81 will be the first one to the scene of the crime.
Yeah.
Like, don't mess with his teammates. Yeah. And that's how St. Brown is.
Don't mess with him, man.
St. Brown loves it. He legitimately gets up for the contact. Receivers that play through contact or play for contact, they have a lot more fun. Because they're not worrying about the hit. They're creating the hits.
Yeah.
And they're the ones leading the charge. So it's like, this is easy.
Yeah, they welcome the physicality.
100%.
Speaking of that, I think the one
Puka
guy...
Nacua.
Puka Nacua, and that was pretty evident last night. Well, actually, Devontae Adams too. Both those guys welcome it. Still do it.
If you watch the film for the Rams, you have to take your hat off to Devontae Adams. There was a reason why Sean McVay in that meeting room when he put the film on for Matt Stafford and everybody else say, "Man, look at this," and you see Stafford talking about, "Man, that guy can play." Mm-hmm. Watch how Kyron Williams scores his first 2 touchdowns. Watch how Puka Nacua scores his touchdown. All of them because 2 people went with Devontae Adams all 3 times. 2 people went Devontae Adams, Kyron's wide open. 2 people went with Devontae Adams, Kyron's wide open. And then 2 people went on that slant. And then that's how Puka came in a little window and dove. They're following a receiver that's been in the league 14 years.
Yeah, well, when you can still do it, who cares how old you are or how long
I
you've
just
been
like
doing
because
it?
on his,
I was surprised.
On his network, they told me he was washed 3 years ago, and I told them they were crazy.
Yeah, well, then listen to yourself instead of them.
I did.
I was watching the game last night, and I'm thinking to myself, man, they haven't really targeted Devontae Adams, so I jump on my computer. He was targeted 11 times in the game.
Yeah.
Puka Nacua was targeted 12 times. That was simply amazing to me. Probably
and Whittington had like 5 or 6 targets.
Yeah.
Early. He was mad if you let him. Matt would spread that ball around.
Oh, man.
Goes back to the conversation, who's the best quarterback right now?
Well, if you give him time, I was thinking about you. I almost texted you, but he rolled to his left, stopped, turned, and threw an absolute dime to Tutu Atwell up the sideline. And Kirk Herbstreit did a hell of a job. I was never a huge Kirk Herbstreit fan on NFL games.
He's the only one alive in the booth, by the way.
Yeah, yes. I know.
Sounds like
yeah. But you're right about that. But he is
fumble on the play.
Yeah. Why are the Niners? Why are they going back to the 41-yard line? Well, that's because it was rough and
It's a
passer.
first down.
Yeah, that's a strange thing. They literally just opened the microphone on the referee. But Kirk Herbstreit, I wasn't a huge fan of the NFL. I think he does a great job in college. But last night I thought he was dialed in. I thought he was really good. And he brought it up right away. He's like, that is such a hard throw.
Yeah.
Where Stafford's going to the left side hash. He's throwing outside the numbers up the sideline. And I looked at the people I was watching with. I said, that's almost a 70-yard throw because of how far down the field he's throwing and how far across the field he's throwing. That's the state of a strong arm right there. But it tells you. I don't know if it's the best wide receiver core in the NFL. That's always a good debate. Cincinnati would jump all over that.
I'm
but
talking
it's really
about
fun.
I'm talking about this year.
Yeah.
You look through the first 4 games, like no one, or I guess 5 for them. No one's. Yeah, this is before. No one's playing 5. No one's done better than them.
Yeah.
Like no one's done better than them. You talk about 11 to 12. Like this is what they're doing, similar to T. Higgins. I think with the Kirk Herbstreit element, because he has gotten better, I think it's what people want to hear. When you're doing college games, you can add the family stories, or you can add the heartfelt emotions or the empathy, the young man, the family. You know, he has a dog and his sister goes to this school, or he drops a pass. Say, hey, you know,
Kirk's got a dog too. Just ask.
Right, 100%. It's like, you know, this young man dropped a pass, but he's gonna be a hell of a player, man. It's got like when you get to the league, nobody want to hear all that. Like they just want.
You're right.
Tell me about this play. Like how did Stafford get that ball to Tutu Atwell? You know, why did Myles Garrett come off the edge so fast? You know, how did Penei Sewell dump truck whoever tried to come in there? Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, when he stood on his head, like, where is that dance celebration coming from? Like, you don't care about the family stories and the backstory.
That's so true because I mean, you can tell the college.
It's like the heart. The heart is college.
Yeah,
like the heart and the love and tailgating.
The college comes out in him when a player makes a play, punches one loose. There's the guy out of Texas, and boom. He refers right back to that, which is fine.
But that's cool though. Like, he's finding his rhythm. They just got to find him somebody in the booth. Like I think this was a 1-year deal, or they did a 1-year deal last year. This is a second 1-year deal.
I don't know the situation.
Just like they did a farewell for Lee Corso, man. It can be done.
We got a couple of super chats too.
Yeah, somebody in the social media last night said. Or maybe it was our group chat.
It was our group chat.
Was it our group chat? Okay.
It
was Kirk Herbstreit. All he does is babysit old men.
That was Spenny. Yeah.
That was really, really funny.
I actually like that one.
Sometimes I look at our group chat and I'm just like, okay,
off the rails.
Enough is enough. Okay, I'm rolling my eyes. That one had me laughing. It was really, really good. I want to get to some super chats for sure, but while we're sticking with the Lions, I think the one guy who doesn't get enough discussion, because we're so focused on quote-unquote skill players, which I hate that phrase because they're all skilled. But we'll talk about Jared Goff, and we're talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown, and rightfully so, and Gibbs, and I talk about Campbell, you talk about Branch. Taylor Decker doesn't get nearly enough love. And Taylor Decker when you talked about, Mac Jones and his knee and everything else, Taylor Decker's gone through a lot of hell for a long time, and he played on a lot of crappy teams. I don't know if there's another Detroit athlete I'm more happy for because of the success after having to go through the crap that he had to go through, and at least being around to play through it. I love that Dan Campbell says you don't have to practice until Friday, or you don't have to practice. Like, I don't expect Taylor Decker to practice Wednesday or Thursday. You practice Friday. He knows his body. Campbell knows it too. I love that Taylor Decker's getting rewarded for some really good work and for his, willingness to stay here in Detroit.
In 2021, this was during training camp. This is after Dan Campbell already gets the job, and he comes in. You know how the first press conference goes. He talks about biting kneecaps. A little while later, he talks about bringing guys out to the deep end and drowning them. And
my favorite quote.
And 100%. And you just see how people were responding around the country. So I remember like it was yesterday. I don't know if it was mini camp or if it was training camp, but they're interviewing Taylor Decker, and they're interviewing him. And they say, your head coach just seems to be a little, in so many words, a meathead, or like, he has a different approach. Like, how do you feel about the approach of Dan Campbell? It seems a little intense, a little aggressive as a former player. If it works, it works. He said, I've been here, nothing has worked. If it works, we welcome it. Like, we want to do something different. Try everything different. Yeah. Legitimately, he said, we need to do something that works. We are willing to try whatever as long as it works. I'm tired of losing. We've been here. We've done so many things and they haven't worked. So sure, if we haven't done this and this is this man's path, we're following this man if it works. I saw that and I said, well, damn. I said, what? I want this player to win. Mm-hmm. I want Dan to have success just because of this player. He's like, look, yeah, I'm tired. You can hear it. You can hear the frustration. You can hear just the how many training camps and mini camps and losing seasons was on him. So I remember that like it was yesterday. So fast forwarding into now, hell yeah, he's underappreciated because he's went through a lot, whether it was knee, whether it was back, whether it's having to miss games. When you are an offensive lineman and you miss a game, like, offensive linemen are the tougher guys on the field. When they miss a game, they couldn't go. They couldn't play. And he plays like that in the last 4 or 5 seasons. And he's going out there. In the last game, we talked about it. He came in motion. Mm-hmm. I saw Taylor Decker on the pull. I saw left tackle Taylor Decker, year 12, 13, on a pull play, making sure Myles Garrett didn't get in there. And keeping Myles Garrett clean when he came off of his side. So definitely need to give him some love. The offensive line as a whole has played tremendous in the last 3 weeks, but he's doing some things, man. He's the leader. For as much as Penei Sewell is the guy now, 100 rightfully so, Taylor Decker's still the old man. Man, he's still the old man. He commands a lot of respect, but he ain't playing like an old man right now.
No, he's not. He's not playing like he's 32 and a 10-year vet. That's a really good take. You look at the snap counts and you look at the games started and games played. Every game that he has ever played in a Lions uniform, he has started. Now, it doesn't mean he started every game because in his career, or at least the possibility, because he was hurt on occasion. But anytime he has played, he has started. And when he's starting, he's playing 100%, 99%, 100%, 100%, 99, 95. This year, 97% of the snaps. Yeah. So it tells you something. That's a really good picture of him. It reminds you of Braveheart to a certain extent and what he's screaming right now.
2 days in a row.
2 days in a row.
We'll bring back.
2 days in a row. We're going back to the favorite movie. Let's get to see some super chats if we can, and then in the 3 o'clock hour, we've got a lot of things to discuss regarding football, including our picks this week in the National Football League.
That's right. And you know what? A couple of these super chats, they pertain to what you guys were talking about in the opening segment. That's relates to the latest football game. Teddy Fresh sends in a $10 super chat.
Let's
10
go.
bones.
I see you out here, 10 beans.
Number one in the chat right now for the top fans. He has the crown. He says, Bray, I was thinking the same thing. After the timeout, that's the best play. You take the ball out of Stafford's hands and you have Adams in the cool. Mm-hmm. I hated the call. Plus, I hate the 49ers.
Yeah, really. That was my favorite team growing up, so it's kind of like a dream come true playing for him. But he's real. And that was a timeout. If you're going to call a timeout, they took the timeout, and they came back there with probably even worse play than they originally had out there. So
also tried to get him to jump off sides, and they wouldn't.
That's when I thought they were going for a field goal.
Yeah, same.
Like when they start trying to get him to jump off sides, I said, I've seen this a million times. Here comes the field goal unit, and they're going to play for the tie or to hope they stop him. But Yeah, boy, was I wrong. I agree.
Yep, and then Michael Wary. Shout out to Michael Wary, our vet in the chat. One of them, he's number 2. He sends in a $2 super chat. He says Matthew Stafford, 30 of 47, 389 yards, 3 touchdowns, and yeah, McVay screwed up.
Yeah,
so
100%.
same sentiment.
Hey, I will say this though. I'm getting the hang of fantasy football, Shep. Remember I told you I wasn't the same thing with Cooper Kupp last week, where I was like, I knew he wasn't gonna do it, but I allowed it to play out. I saw what I saw out of Lamar Jackson last week. I saw what I saw in terms of doubtful and this, that, and the third. Although it pained me, Shep, deeply, I put Lamar Jackson on the bench last night, and boy, I'm glad I did. Matt Stafford is my backup quarterback. He got me 34 points, man. I appreciate you, Matt.
That's interesting because he's my backup quarterback too.
Did you play him?
I did not.
Who's your starter?
Jalen Hurts.
Nah, I'd have started Matt Stafford.
Well, that's easy to say now.
Who are the Eagles playing?
What's that?
Who are the Eagles playing?
The Eagles are playing. I forget who they're playing.
Oh, I just saw.
I gotta look that up. I forget who it is.
Yeah. I saw what I saw.
Are they the Bucks?
That was last week.
That was last week. They're I don't know. They're playing somebody good. I know that.
All I know is
okay. I forget who.
I'm going Stafford. I'm going Stafford until I see something out of Baltimore.
But I get why you played Matthew Stafford.
Broncos.
Well, that's a good defense.
Ooh, that's a good defense.
That's a good defense.
Yeah.
All right. But I think it's at home, which
the
can matter a little bit.
They got some big guys up front, though.
Yeah, and the reason I drafted him is because there is a little bit of that tush push, but he's also got Devontae Smith, and he's got A.J. Brown, and he can always swing it out to Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Help me out a little bit.
Okay.
I did double dip. I have him and A.J. Brown, and A.J. Brown has not done what I expected him to do, so much so that I've thought about trading him. All right, top of the hour. Let's take a quick timeout. I would love to be able to say we're coming back with Braylon's breakdown, but we've done that each of the last 2 days, and Braylon has told me, relax.
We gotta let the people crave it a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
We'll be fine. We'll have it for you next week for sure. But when we come back, we will talk about the NFL and our picks. Want to get our picks in this week, see how we're doing, make sure we're doing all right, and we're going to talk a little college football too. Big game taking place in a Battle of Florida. Do we think that there are dynasties any longer in college football? All that coming up here on the Braylon Edwards Show after this from Planet Fitness.
You're talking about cravings, man. You're talking about cravings. If you get yourself in the gym, people will crave you because Planet Fitness can get your body right. Start your journey today. When you get your journey started. Look, man, I've started.
That sounds like experience, bro.
Well, you know. Well, you know what they say. The gym's that way.
Let them go.
I think it's over there. No, but Planet Fitness is the gym for you, man. Over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations. There's squeaky clean. There's trainers on staff. And it's just a good vibe. It's good energy. Come down. Planet Fitness, mental health, physical health, mix them together. Come down to Planet Fitness where your fitness is essential.
College football teams are back in action. Michigan is at home for homecoming. Braylon will be there. Michigan State's on the road in Lincoln. Maybe you're making the trek to Lincoln, Nebraska to watch the Spartans and the Cornhuskers play, no matter the case. Sun Cruiser Vodka, Iced Tea, and Woodward Sports want to be there with you. Real vodka, not Woodward Sports, but definitely Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Real iced tea, no bubbles, just a clean, crisp spit that only gives you 100 calories and gives you 4.5% alcohol. It's perfect for tailgates. It is perfect. There goes Braylon's head. Perfect for tailgates. Perfect for on the couch and parties. Anything you got going on this weekend, make sure Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea is part of it. And please, drink responsibly.
Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Big injuries, big news. news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. Ever wonder what goes on inside the game?
Deep ball's got a man and got him. Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Join Braylon Edwards and Shep.
Edwards has it. 10-5, touchdown.
On the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Bar looks in zone. Got Edwards for the touchdown.
Where they dive deep into the heart of sports. Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m., they're bringing you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and a fresh perspective on the sports you love. Don't miss it, only on the Woodward Sports Network.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith. New focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
The Tigers are the best team in baseball. Get the best coverage in Detroit right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Every Scooble start, every green homer, and all the action can be followed on all of our social media. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. It's World Series or bust, Detroit, and we are here for the ride. Woodward Sports.
Good time to get into a new vehicle for you right now. The sun is shining. It's a good place where you can go get it washed at Jack's Car Wash, but the first thing you want to do is make sure you get the right vehicle. Les Stanford Buick GMC is the place to be. They've got a ton of inventory waiting for you right now. Les Stanford, LesStanford.com. Look at it. 2025 Equinox EV, $229 a month plus tax. The 225 Lyric, $489 a month plus tax. That's a nice looking Cadillac. And then you've got the 2025 Hummer, $599 a month plus tax. LesStanford.com. No better place to get an unbelievable deal. They'll take care of you. They take care of you just like your family. It's Les Stanford and LesStanford.com.
Jack's Car Wash, pull up right now, man. It's still going strong. The elongated summer is still here, so now is the time to get to Jack's Car Wash. But the secret is you can go whenever you want to with the unlimited plan. $29.99 is all it's going to cost you to get your car washed and wash well. I mean, free compressed air, free mat cleaning rooms, free vacuums, and also we'll get you a free car wash. Text WSN to 888-522-1729. Again, that's text WSN to 888-522-1729. On days like this, don't you want to have your car squeaky clean? Pull up at Jack's.
And we back.
All right, another big weekend full of college football. What's the best game on the slate, do you think? Not Big Ten per se. What's the best game on the college football slate this weekend?
You go first over there, cool guy, looking like a Top Gun pilot.
Appreciate
Mr. College Sports.
I know what he's going to say.
I was going to say Miami and Florida State, but after you said that, I looked at the schedule. Georgia-Kentucky will be good because for some reason they always play a very close game.
I'm not supporting anything Kentucky does after I saw that picture that came out with their wide receivers. No, thank you.
But I'm just saying it's always a close game.
They
But
hold
if I
hands.
had to pick one, it'd be the U versus the Knowles.
I think Vanderbilt, Alabama is very interesting.
16-10.
The Commodores are 5-0. Crimson Tide are 3-1. Really impressive win over Georgia last weekend. Vandy likes to talk quite a bit. They're trying to get in that conversation in the SEC. When people mention Georgia and Alabama and LSU, Vanderbilt wants to be part of that conversation. It seems like the only time they can become part of that conversation is when Diego Pavia opens his big yapper. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. I don't root for Alabama. I like Kalen DeBoer because when I was calling Eastern Michigan football, he was the OC, and he's a good man. That'll be a very fun game to watch, I think.
Yeah, you'll be watching that one by yourself because ain't nothing about Vanderbilt that I ever watched except Jay Cutler. Now, I would say Texas and Florida, that would be the game. But I'm just so over Billy Napier. I don't think he should be the head coach. Should have been gone. But Florida's still hanging on. They've had a couple close calls this year. So is Texas worth the ninth? The being ranked the ninth team in the country. That's my thing. What does that game look like for Steve Sarkisian going against a Florida team that's not better than them, that's not good? But for some reason, Florida's going to end up making this game close.
In the words of my friend, you can watch that one by yourself because, I mean, Florida, Napier's on the hot seat. DJ Lagway looks like he's digressed. Texas is a touchdown favorite. Between the hedges, that surprises me.
I'm telling you, it's something there.
Yeah, there could be
It's
something there.
something
Vegas
there.
usually knows it. All right, what about the Big Ten? When you look at the Big Ten slate, like Penn State's at UCLA. Back in the day, that would have moved my needle. Now
you could have got Cade Cunningham. Wait a minute, not Cade Cunningham. You could have got Cade McNown versus Kerry Collins.
Yeah, or you could have gotten Troy Aikman against Todd Blackledge or something like that, right? That would have moved my needle. Find me a game on the Big Ten slate that is even remotely intriguing to you. Outside, I would argue this. Name-wise, like Michigan, Wisconsin, all right, but not this Wisconsin, okay? Michigan State, Nebraska, perhaps. There's really nothing on the Big Ten schedule this weekend. Let me just read them to you. Stop me when it moves you. Illinois at Purdue. Penn State at UCLA, Washington at Maryland, UL Monroe, Louisiana Monroe is playing at Northwestern, Michigan State at Nebraska, and Minnesota at Ohio State. And if you say Minnesota because of rowing the boat, I swear, man, I'm going to put something in your coffee. It's ridiculous. There's nothing on the Big Ten schedule that is intriguing to me.
But when's the last time there has been? Because for the last 5 years, outside of Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, like Wisconsin has pooped the bed the last 5 years. Like what they used to be, they are no longer. Luke Fickell, where you at? Like what's going on? I know we play them this week. Minnesota ain't rowing the boat like you said. Purdue, like they've had a couple failed coaches. Like nobody moves the needle outside of those four teams.
Last week when Oregon played Penn State.
But
I think that moved the needle.
Okay, but once again, that's Penn State and that's Oregon. Those are Oregon's been a.
I see. You're saying outside of
those teams.
I apologize. Okay.
So you're gonna get a stinker probably 75% of the time in the Big Ten.
Yeah,
I think
Mike Loxley has done a decent job at Maryland. I'm stretching here.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay,
I'm gonna let you.
Kurt Cignetti's done a really good job at Indiana. Can I, if I used Indiana at Iowa last week, I know it's 35 total points, but I mean it was an intriguing matchup for me. You got to be a bit of a diehard Big Ten fan to actually go that route, but
you just got to get lucky sometimes, like Illinois USC last week.
Absolutely, that's a good song by Tom Petty, but it's also a good phrase to live by in the Big Ten this week.
For me personally, I think Maryland and Washington would be a little interesting just because of the quarterbacks. Malik Washington at Maryland and Damon Williams of Washington. I think they're good. They're good quarterbacks, and if you just want to watch some good offense and some good quarterbacks, I would go. Those are two young quarterbacks, and I would just go with that, just based off quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good answer. I need more than quarterbacks, but
that's my only answer for you, Shep. That's
it's a really good one. Somebody in the chat said this. I kind of miss all the Ben Johnson jokes now that we got real ammo. That's a That's a really fun one. You're right. I think some people miss giving those Ben Johnson jokes, to be honest with you. Is college all about head coaching? Well, if it were, North Carolina is in pretty deep trouble.
Yeah.
Because it sure looks like Bill Belichick has not assembled the roster many people thought he would when he went to Chapel Hill. What do you think college football is more than anything else?
Coaching and but talent, though. Like it's
recruiting. No?
Yeah, but like recruiting is how much money do you have? So like, you know, how good of a recruiter do you have to be anymore? And I think you still have to recruit the right players, put the right players together, you know, have the right coaches on staff. But if you're Ohio State and you're just getting all the 5 stars every year, or you're Georgia, that's where it starts. And you put a guy in there like a Ryan Day that kind of knows a little bit, you just continue to ship rolling.
Okay, that's good. It's an interesting take. I didn't anticipate that. I was thinking that it was more about. I think it's about recruiting. You're right, and it is money plays a factor in that. It's also, but I think because recruiting, and this goes hand in hand, recruiting is no longer recruiting high school players. Recruiting is
college
now,
players.
I've got to go find college players, use my high school connections to get a Braylon Edwards to come here. The college coaching is now recruiting high school players, but it's also recruiting other college players. Now, when they go about that, is it in the handshake after a game? Hey, man, I'd love to talk to you in the offseason, all that other stuff. I don't know, but it's become nonstop recruiting for head coaches, and a lot of that comes back.
I'm just waiting for the moment where you have that one big player that gets taken from the in-state rival. Like, I'm waiting for that moment where Michigan steals a Nick Marsh and brings him to the big house, or insert rival takes Alabama player and brings him to Georgia, and like he's like a star. Like, I think when that happens, it's going to get interesting.
Yeah, that would be.
Like,
that's really
that's the
good.
one I'm waiting for.
I forgot someone on Oklahoma had someone leave. I think from Texas to Oklahoma. I forgot the linebacker's name, but I believe he left Texas to go to Oklahoma. I think. Oklahoma State to Oklahoma. That's what it was.
Yeah, but we have seen players move from big programs to other big programs, right? I mean,
yeah, I think it's
Taylor
more of
Downs
like
is one of them.
Yeah, but it's different. I'm talking about in-state though.
Yeah, I get it. Okay.
I'm talking like in-state, but I guess there's not a ton of in-state rivalries like that anymore anyway. It's not like Oklahoma State matter.
Nope.
Yeah, I was at Michigan State, so yeah, you're right.
As much as we like watching Bryce Underwood play at Michigan, and we love Aiden Childs playing at Michigan State, there is a guy who is starting to steal, and rightfully so, steal some more headlines because he is flying up NFL prospect boards. And he is Jayshon Barnum, University of Michigan, right here, who came from Maryland. So yeah. I don't know if that means stealing, but within the conference, it's not rivals, but it's within the conference. What have you noticed about a guy who used to wear your number, okay? You used to wear that number, and what you think his biggest characteristics are for a possible future pro?
He's aggressive. Like, a lot of times when you see him out there, when you see him, he is legitimately in the backfield. He's fast. He's aggressive. He gets off blocks. He tries to make plays. Sometimes he's so excited you can tell like he'll miss a play. You know, he still got to turn that motor down just a little bit, but it's like physical. It's reckless. It reminds me of the type of players that we've had on defense for the past 5 years or so. That defense, that element, it reminds me of that. I feel like last year you still had remnants of that with the big guys up front. Grant, you still had Mason. Now they leave. Who's going to be the guy? Who's going to be that violent player that Michigan has had in the past? And it's definitely number one.
Is he an edge rusher? Is he an outside linebacker? How do you vision him in the National Football League?
I think he's an edge rusher. Is he
similar to Abdul Carter, do you think? Or is that too tough of a comparison?
Right now, I still got to see. I don't know if he's like Abdul Carter. I think he'll be a bigger player than Abdul Carter.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
I think he's best at edge as well. Last year, he was linebacker a little bit.
Abdul can move around a little bit more.
Linebacker missed a couple of plays last year. I remember Arkansas State, there was a play where he literally could have just sacked the quarterback but stopped. But ever since they moved him to edge, he's been killing it.
Really good player, really fun player to watch, and should have a field day at Wisconsin.
You notice when he's not in there.
Yeah.
Like, when he's not in there, you definitely notice that one's not on that field.
Isn't that interesting? That sometimes is more of an indictment on how important that player is than anything else.
Yeah.
When he's not in there, you're like, where the hell is he? You know, Aiden Hutchinson's like that with the Lions. I'm not saying he's Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
I'm just saying when Aiden Hutchinson's not in there, you're thinking, where the hell is 97? We need him back in there. I think Michigan's defense feels the same way when one is not in there as well. When we come back, we'll make our picks. This is the Braylon Edwards Show on Woodward Sports. But first, let me tell you about buddies. Last night, my wife said to me, Matt, you're on your own because I'm going out tonight. I said, that's fine. That's cool. So I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm ordering a pizza. So I got a Buddy's pizza with pepperoni and Italian sausage. And you know what? This guy right here was a happy man. Really good stuff, as always. 22 locations. You're going to find one near you. I went to the one there in Troy. Fantastic. They are the original Detroit deep dish pizza, Detroit style pizza. It does not get any better than that. You will feel so good when you're done eating that pizza because it's just, I could use a lot of sophisticated words. The word yummy comes to mind more than anything else. And when you use the promo code 10MEAL, you get 10% off your order. You get a pizza, you get a salad. You get the salad because Braylon gets a salad every day, and I try to actually live a little bit like Braylon does, even though it's not working in the gym. But Buddy's Pizza's got it all for you right now. And use that promo code 10MEAL right now and enjoy the weekend, everybody, with Buddy's Pizza and Buddy'sPizza.com.
Yeah, Massage Chair House. You know that I'm rocking the victory shades today because the Tigers aren't playing. I'm relaxed. They're about to play in the ALDS tomorrow. But if you're looking to upgrade your relaxation game, which I'm relaxed and cool today, check out Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, on the corner of Woodward and Long Lake Road. Experience luxury comfort with Dr. Eric Duncan, the Wellness Doc, creator of the top YouTube massage chair review channel. Book a visit at www.massagechairhouse.com or scan that QR code. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith. New focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. Ever wonder what goes on inside the game?
Deep ball's got a man and got him. Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Join Braylon Edwards and Shep.
Edwards has it. 10-5, touchdown.
On the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Ball looks in zone. Got Edwards for the touchdown.
Where they dive deep into the heart of sports. Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m., they're bringing you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and a fresh perspective on the sports you love. Don't miss it, only on the Woodward Sports Network. The Tigers are the best team in baseball. Get the best coverage in Detroit right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Every Scooble start, every green homer, and all the action can be followed on all of our social media. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. It's World Series or bust, Detroit, and we are here for the ride. Woodward Sports. The boys of summer are ready to get get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. This ball is gone. Boys are back in town. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
Black Rock Bar and Grill featuring Braylon's Beef. That's right, Braylon's Beef, 20-ounce New York strip. You got to pull up on it, man. The steak is amazing, but it's only for a limited time. Speaking of only for a limited time, how about that steak and lobster that you see on the screen? $19.99. Get your little surf and turf action. Deal this hot, it won't last long, so it is only here for a short time. Now, remember we said we partner with people like to bring you things back. We want to give you an opportunity to win something. So if the Lions win, you win. That's right. Lions win. You get to come on down to Black Rock Bar and Grill, the summer that sizzles, and you can get yourself a free appetizer. That's right. Free appetizers when the Lions win. They play the Bungles this week. Sounds like a win to me. If I was you, I'd be prepared to get there, get that appetizer, and enjoy your meal. Black Rock Bar and Grill. It always sizzles here.
The Bungles.
Bungles.
And look, if you're looking for the ultimate pickleball experience, you got to check out Wicked Pickle. It's Metro Detroit's hottest indoor pickleball spot. So what I'm going to do is that you guys get a head start. Go on ahead and smash that. Go on ahead, scan that QR code. Smash that like button too, but make sure you scan that QR code, okay? Because they got 10 climate-controlled courts, daily open play for all levels, and a chill lounge with TVs, ping pong, and cold drinks. It's always a game on, rain or shine. You could have watched the Tigers kicking the cup of the Guardians yesterday. It was mwah. You could have watched it from Wicked Pickle, man. If you're throwing a party or a team event, they host groups from 10 to 200 people. And don't miss the APA Michigan Gold Cup. It's November 22nd through the 23rd. So sign up at pickleballtournaments.com or scan that QR code. And make sure you mark your calendars for Woodward Sports' Pickleball Party, January 9th. We got more details on the way. And we are
we're back. Wicked Pickle.
Wicked Pickle.
Just a fan in the chat says Tigers had a great breakout, winning and great pitching. I hope these at-bats are awake now. I do too. I think we all do.
You say she's just a friend.
I would remind you though, Seattle's a different animal, man. Sorry, they're a different animal. You're not. I don't think you're beating the Seattle Mariners 2-1. Okay, you're gonna have to score runs, and you hope that you can continue after what you did yesterday against Cleveland. Seattle's pitching is better. Seattle's defense is just as good. Seattle's back into the bullpen is better, and Seattle's offense is a lot better than Cleveland's.
With all that being said,
it's going to be really hard. Yeah.
First to 5.
Yep, the first 3 out of 5. Right, first to 5. So let's hope the Tigers can do that. They'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Game 1 is tomorrow. Game 2 is Sunday. Sunday we'll have Tarek Skubal. Tomorrow will be, in all likelihood, a bullpen day. It'll be, my guess is it's Cater Montero starting. And Troy Melton will probably pitch at some point as well. So let's see if they can get an early lead, because I think that'll be really important. If Seattle gets the early leads and they get to the back end of their bullpen in the 8th or 9th, it's almost over. It's like New York with David Bednar.
If Detroit really wants a chance to win, they got to win Game 1. I know it's a bullpen game. They got to win Game 1.
Because it's going to be really hard to beat a team like that 3 out of 4. And I understand why you think that.
Yeah.
I suppose they could be thinking the same thing. We'll soon find out. We'll be talking about it on Monday here on the Braylon Edwards Show. All right, I want to get to the picks because you got to get going to Ann Arbor.
Yep.
Like and you've got about 4 minutes or so. So this has got to be quick, Ryan and Kool-Aid, and yours truly. I did pick the Rams last night, so I lost last night. I 0 for 1 going into the picks today. Here we go. You ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's go.
And this is not with the spread, everybody. This is just straight up. Minnesota is at Cleveland. Braylon. Minnesota. Kool-Aid.
Minnesota.
Ryan.
Browns.
You're going the Browns. You're the only one because I got Minnesota as well. Write these down. I got them on my computer for my picks. Make sure you guys are writing these down. Las Vegas Viva is at Indianapolis to take on the Colts and Daniel Jones. I've got the Colts. Braylon.
Colts.
Hey, Indiana Jones. That's right.
Colts.
Okay, everybody's going with Indy. New York is at New Orleans. Jackson, Dart, and the Giants trying to make it 2 in a row. Ryan.
Giants.
I got the Giants. Braylon.
Saints.
Okay. Kool-Aid.
Giants.
Okay. So the lone descendant is Braylon Edwards. Dallas is at the Jets. Kool-Aid.
Ooh, yeah. Let's go AG Jets. Let's rock.
Okay.
Dallas.
Dallas. I got the Jets.
Cowboys.
Uh-oh, someone's starting to believe a little bit. Denver is at Philly. Braylon.
Do we have a Dak believer?
Denver's winning at Philly. Okay.
Denver.
All right. Kool-Aid.
I'm going with Bo Nix. I've been bullish on him this year.
You're going with Denver. Okay.
Yes.
Ryan?
Denver.
Wow. Okay. I'm going Philly. I'll
Okay,
take
there it
Philadelphia. Miami is at Carolina. I'm going to take the road team. I'll take Miami for back-to-back wins last week. KG said, out your mind when I took Miami over the Jets. I was all in my mind and won. So I'm going to take Miami. Braylon.
Give me Carolina.
Carolina. Okay, Kool-Aid?
Darren Waller won't be a surprise this week.
Come on, Bryce. Do something for me.
You going Dolphins?
No, he's going Carolina. Bryce.
Carolina.
Okay.
I'm rocking with you, Shep. You not out your mind this week, Dolphins.
All right. Houston is at Baltimore. Ryan.
Ooh. Lamar will get it done. Ravens.
Is Lamar
playing?
I hope so. Yeah. Screw Ohio State and
Hope's a very
CJ Stroud.
dangerous four-letter word. You're going to keep with it?
I'm going to keep with the Ravens.
All right, I'm
Screw
going to stay with
Stroud.
the Ravens as well. Braylon, I got a sense you're going with Houston, but go ahead.
Texans.
Texans, all right. Kool-Aid?
Guys feel so dirty. CJ Stroud and Texans.
What's that?
Texans.
Texans? Okay.
I didn't want to say it with my chest, but I got to.
Tennessee is at Arizona. Kool-Aid?
Cards.
Cards? All right, Brian?
I'd go Cardinals.
I'll go Cardinals.
Cards,
okay. Let's go Tampa at Seattle. Braylon?
Ooh.
Tampa.
Okay. I've got Seattle. Ryan?
I'm rocking with Seattle.
Kool-Aid?
I got to go with my fantasy quarterback, Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
Let's
so
go
you're going,
Tampa.
So 2 Tampa, 2 Seattle. Washington is at the Chargers.
I might
Ryan?
come in here with like no wins.
Chargers.
On Monday. I'm just throwing it out.
Chargers. I'm going Chargers. Bray?
Chargers.
Kool-Aid. Okay.
Yeah.
New England's at Buffalo. Kool-Aid.
I mean, we're going to go Buffalo, but I like New England right now. Buffalo, though.
Buffalo in a close one.
I'm sorry. I want to make sure. You said you like New England now. You just played both sides of the fence.
I like how they're looking. I like how they're looking, but I'm picking Buffalo.
Okay, I
to
think
win
we're all
this.
taking Buffalo there.
Yeah.
Bills in a close one.
Kansas City is at Jacksonville. This might be the best game on the NFL slate. Braylon.
I'm not picking against Kansas City the rest of the season. Kansas City.
I'm taking the Chiefs.
KC.
Right? KC. Okay.
Chiefs.
And lastly, the Lions are at Cincinnati. Here's the thing I want to do, though. Instead of just straight up, the Lions are giving 9.5. Are you giving 9.5 to the Bengals, or are you taking the Lions giving the points?
I'm giving 15.
It's an easy win, you think?
I'll give 20 if it wasn't for Jamar Chase, Chase Brown, and Higgins.
Dude, it was 9.5 last week, and they had no problem with it.
I would take the Lions.
I think
points.
their offense is going to be better this week. I'm giving the 9.5 to the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they look lost.
Yeah. What? 1,000%.
Kool-Aid? Sorry.
No, I agree. I think this is going to be a blowout.
Okay. What were you going to say? 1,000%?
Yeah.
It just stems from it stems from the front office. It stems from how they do deals. It stems from who they pay. It stems from the conversation. It stems from what they don't bring in, what they do every year. Like, they're just a negligent franchise. So when you have situations like this where you got some of the best players in the league, but you got a quarterback that doesn't look like he knows what he's doing because he doesn't, and then you have an offensive line that is nowhere to be found, and you didn't pay anybody on defense except one guy, and you didn't even pay him.
Right.
So
just gave him a little bit of a raise.
And they've always been this type of front. They're the franchise, and I'll leave with this. They're the franchise when they make it to a Super Bowl in 2021, you're like, not them. They don't deserve it. Like, when I'm looking around the landscapes, I know deserving is, it's objective. They don't deserve it because their front office doesn't care. They got lucky in drafting Joe Burrow and doubling back because Joe Burrow told them to draft Jamar Chase.
For sure.
You got lucky in that regard.
Could have drafted Penny Sewell.
100%. So they didn't deserve to be there. Mm-hmm. And now you look at it and it looks like this. So,
dude, all you got to do is look at the face of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins in that game last week, and you can tell they are distraught.
There was 8 minutes left in the first quarter when they made those faces. It's 8 left in the first quarter, Shep. Crazy. 8 left in the first quarter.
Hey, listen, enjoy homecoming. Have fun with your guys. That'll be awesome. And
I promise I'm changing this shirt before I get up there.
You're going to tell us on Monday how that went. All right, when we come back, the doc, yes, Dr. Jeffrey Pierce will join us. We'll talk a little bit about the injuries that have taken place with the Lions, why some of these guys are on a fast track to come back. Jeffrey Pierce joins the conversation right after this.
Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Every Sunday, there's only one place to get all your kneecapping, hard-hitting Detroit Lions coverage. Start your Sunday with the Lions Weekly Report with Broder and Terry Foster. Then, the Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Baligian. At kickoff, keep it locked in for all the emotions of the game with a live watch party with the heavyweights. Then, recap the game with the Lions postgame show with Anson. Game days, there's no other place to be than Woodward Sports. Live all game day. Go Lions.
Yes, Caesar Sportsbook, the official sponsor of us here, or official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Make sure you use code Woodward1000 if your first bet doesn't hit, because if you use that code, you get your deposit right back, even if it doesn't hit. Maximum of $1,000 bet, minimum of just $20. So you can bet anything this weekend for $1,000, whether it's like Michigan money line, Lions money line, MSU money line. They lose. You get that money right back. Looking at you, Michigan State. But use code Woodward1000 or scan that QR code on your screen.
Speaking of QR codes, I like to do reads that have QR codes because in the past people have just given me just phone numbers. And I'm like, wait a minute, I deserve a QR code. I want to be able to say look above and just scan the QR code and you can go to this specific company like Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning. Great people who've been around for over 40 years, treating you like family, helping you with heating and cooling and indoor air quality and water heaters and whole home generators. And right now,
they do everything.
They do everything. You ask, you got to take care of your home because you know your home is your number one priority, right? I mean, it should be that in your family. Dr. Pierce has got 3 homes, so that's why he uses Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning. They keep him busy. He keeps them busy. If you're a DTE gas customer right now, till December 1st, you get a free furnace tune-up. All you got to do is scan the code above my head or call 734-238-3839. That's 734-238-3839 and tell them Woodward Sports, specifically the Braylon Edwards Show, sent you.
And we are
always
back.
One of my favorite segments. It's the Injury Insider. It's Dr. Jeffrey Pierce, and he is with us. We missed him yesterday, but he was someplace, I think, on the coast of Rome or somewhere along those lines.
Worldwide rock, Doc.
Worldwide, yeah. He's going helping people all around the world. It's not just the United States, but he's back here and in studio. It's great to have you, Doc. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. The Lions have made a lot of news recently, and you know that. Aleem McNeil coming off a knee surgery from a year ago, and now it seems like he's fast-tracked. Why do you think the Lions have been able to get him incorporated into practice so quickly and feel like he isn't that far away? With the knee injuries, you would think that would take an awful lot longer to a period of time because of how big he is.
Well, I mean, the injury was in December. So when we talk about a long period of time, it was anterior cruciate ligament.
Okay.
So it's a major injury. I love that you bring up the point that size does matter in this case. It's usually a slower recovery. We're pushing guys that are a little bit more limber, a little bit more sizable at that 4 to 6 months. So technically, we're 10 months post. So he's right at that level. We want to get him in. I predicted that 9 to 10, 11 months with him, concerning. And he feels like he's being held back a little bit. When you kind of read in between the lines, like, I could go. But that's his mental saying it. So some of the physiology, the actual healing recovery, is probably not matching up to his mental. Meaning, what does that mean? That means his right and left sides are being compared. His twitch factors, his abilities to move quickly is probably not lining up him physically as he thinks he is mentally. Because he said 2 weeks ago, I'm ready. And Campbell came out a couple of days ago saying he's checked all the boxes. We just got to get him football ready. And a guy that size, you got to worry about getting hit, being chop blocked, being knocked down, being able to grapple and get through get that step. It's a half a step he's got to be in front of to make a difference.
As a doctor, as a physician who's handling high-level athletes and knowing their type A personality and how competitive they are, how much do you have to take that into account when you're asking them to go through the rehab process?
Well, one of the worst guys I've ever had is sits in your chair from 11 to 1.
Darren McCarty?
McCarty is king of not listening, but he proved out. And we're trying to be funny about it, but it's true. These guys want to play. Yep. Football players want to play. Hockey players definitely want to play. You got to educate them and make them understand. Mm-hmm. And that's really a big part of it, is having them through the process. Some of the football players now, you're looking at Birdie, who had the toe injury, who played, now he's out. We don't know if he's going to be out a couple of weeks. Was it premature? Did he understand? Did he want to potentially not lose his job? There's a lot of things going on in their head. With McNeil, he's out. He knows he's got a position. It's a little bit different, the mental part. But the biggest part for us from a physician standpoint or a training standpoint is educating him to what he should anticipate.
Okay.
Younger the player, the more naive they are. J-Mo is one of them. He thought he'd be bouncing back and bouncing like a rabbit right away. And it took him a good year to get his stride back where he's moving without hesitation.
Aiden Hutchinson, I remember you telling us, look, I think he will really start to feel like himself again in week 3 or so. And by golly, it was about week 3 before he actually did just that. So I give you a lot of credit in that regard. DJ Reed is a really important piece to their secondary. Hamstring injuries.
Right.
How delicate is that, especially with guys who are doing the back pedal the way cornerbacks do it?
They got Reed up there.
Yeah.
Or McNeil up there.
Yeah.
I mean, it came out a little more information. It's at least a grade 2. They put him on IR.
What does that mean? What's a grade 2 mean?
So there's grades 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
So
I'm still stuck in grade 1, but that's beside the fact. What does a grade 2 injury mean?
A grade 2 means there's microfiber or micro tears to the injury. Not complete tears. There's disruption.
Okay.
So the thing is a disruption to it as opposed to a complete tear. And then there's varying degrees of that also within that range. And then location is huge. I've always pushed on location when I talk about hamstring. I don't know if we have our hamstring muscle up there, but basically where it's located, right? So everybody thinks hamstring is one big muscle. No, it's multiple muscles. It's multiple ligament attachments. And then the length and the bulk of the muscle makes a difference too. Like when you start talking about runners, I talked a little bit about this on Tuesday. So for those, I might be repeating myself. But basically you got to look at the structure. Right, so I have long-distance runners. They have a longer tendon, lesser muscle, and it's just sometimes their anatomy. That's why they become long-distance runners. As opposed to football players, you got a lot more muscle bulk, which is actually better for recovery. So when you talk about football players and hamstrings, if it's torn mid-belly, you have good outcomes. If you're torn near the attachment of that tendon, where it's going into the knee or into the buttocks, those are ones that we really worry about. So this one feels like, from what we're telling you, that it's more of a mid-belly. It's more than a grade 1. It's definitely a grade 2, but it's not a grade 3. They're not talking about any surgery. They're talking about rehab.
Good news.
He's walking ginger in the locker room, which is a little concerning 72 hours later. So that does push it out a little bit longer.
Taylor Decker, not that he's going to miss the game, but he is given some practices off, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that he's 32. He's been in the league for 10 years now, but there's a lot of wear and tear there too. Dealing with, at least on the injury report, a shoulder injury. I just want your thoughts on offensive linemen because of the punch, because they're down in a certain stance, the punch and the wear and tear they take, not only on their shoulders, but on their elbows in general. Because a lot of guys I've talked to in the past who've played offensive line for an extended period of time, that and their hips are where the injuries really take place long term.
Yeah, because you're talking about those structures, right? We talk about core musculature. Everybody thinks core musculature is only around the low back or your abs and stuff like that. Every joint has a core musculature around it. So when we start talking about shoulders, you're talking about the rotator cuffs, right? The big four muscles around there. You're talking about wear and tear. You're talking about pushing. I mean, he's resisting, let's just say, an average of a 300-pound man coming at him and trying to go through him. He's trying to hold him up. All that pressure, when you're coming, it's going into that joint. So when you're talking about a ball and socket joint, I don't know if you can see, ball and socket joint, you're pounding that joint every time. So when that muscle has a little tweak to it where it just has a little bit of a laxity to it, you're putting even more pressure on it. So do they have advanced arthritis? Yeah, they have advanced arthritis, but that's a generic term. You're talking about micro trauma from a bone aspect, but also from a ligament. You're doing little micro tears every time he misses out. Like if he catches him wrong and you see him pop one shoulder, that shoulder's taking the brute force of it. Same thing in the hips. The hips are the same dynamics, but hopefully you have more muscle around that hip.
All right, let me take you back to hamstrings. Even though you did a great job explaining it, it can be different for different players. So we used the example of DJ Reed as a cornerback. Let me throw this one at you. Lamar Jackson is a quarterback. And knowing, because you follow football, knowing how much he relies on his legs, how much do you think that affects a player of that skill set in that system? And I know a lot of fantasy football players are wondering about it too.
He's unique. He needs his speed, he needs his hamstring. He's got to be, every part of his body is utilized when he plays. He's changing directions, split seconds. He's avoiding, he's ducking, all that. Just backpedaling and throwing. He's not a pocket guy. He's not a Jared Goff where he's in the pocket. Even that would be hard. But for a guy like Lamar, it's even more important. That hamstring, it's a vital part of moving forward, moving backwards, changing directions, spinning out.
Okay, so what did you tell them?
It's major for a player like that.
One more for you to throw your way, and that's regarding the Lions and, again, the secondary, Terrion Arnold. Again, a shoulder, but from a cornerback who doesn't come up, lower his shoulder and get a lot of tackles, although that's how he hurt it. The effect of him being able to turn, move, bat down passes and things of that nature, there's a lot more to the shoulder work than just than what we would consider what a cornerback usually does. We assume that it's hamstring, it's ankles, it's turning and shifting. The shoulders and the ability to do what he needs to do is pretty important. How do you gauge that situation with Terrion Arnold?
Yeah, I mean, with him, it's got to be full recovery, too. We thought he was going to be okay. Now they're saying he's going to be out a couple weeks. What's going on there? Is he being truthful? There doesn't have to be major tears for them to not feel right and be a benefit at their spot. These guys do worry about losing their position.
Sure.
So he's in that in-between gray area where I think he's secure with his position. I think we're early enough in the season where, let's recover. We need him, for the end of the season, for the playoffs. Though he's a major player. He's got unbelievable football smarts. He plays at 110%. It's probably how he hurt his shoulder going in. These guys do they respect their body? They throw their body on the line every time.
Sure.
So with that kind of stuff, I think we're going to caution. I'm not picking on the Bengals. Do we need our A team in there? Let's see what happens, and let's give him time to recoup, recover, and rehab and strengthen that shoulder up.
Let me take you back to you were talking about Brock Purdy and the toe. Can you explain to people what turf toe is, how painful it can be, and how you try to recover from it?
Pierced toe.
Turf toe, like I've said.
Pierced toe, yeah.
Yeah, we did start trying the pierced toe. Do we have the anatomy on that? I don't know. But basically, it's the knuckle, right? So if we're comparable to the thumb, it's the part of the knuckle that is inflamed. And it's still a medical mystery on why some people are so involved. It's like it doesn't make sense. But because everything pivots off of it, you can't kind of live without it. And especially for the quarterback, he's got to place that and he can push off. Can he throw without his great toe? Yeah. That irritation, you're just constantly on it. It's not like a hand where you can like put it aside. You're on your toe. So it's to simplify it, it's an inflammation between that knuckle and underneath. And when that knuckle becomes inflamed, the ligaments become inflamed. Everything's just, it's an irritable thing.
It doesn't seem to go away, though. Why? Those things linger for a long period of time.
There's new secret sauces that are helping with some of that we need to work on. But you're talking about an irritation that you're constantly irritable. You know, can you be 100% off your foot? Yeah. We have walking boots. We have other things to do. But the thing is, you have a short season in some ways. Does it get fully healed? No. Once you get it gets ignored because it is just your great toe. People are like, great, my toe's not going to keep me out. So sometimes they let it go to be more inflamed, and how politically correct said. They let it go too far because they don't want to say my toe hurts. Kind of attitude.
It's a manly thing. I'm going to throw you one more. It's a little bit of a curveball. It has to do with baseball. The Tigers advanced after beating Cleveland yesterday. That means they go to Seattle to take on the Mariners, right? The Mariners have, I think, the best starting staff in all of baseball. If it includes Brian Wu, who made 31 starts this year, but has been out since September 19th because of what is called right pectoral inflammation, all right? Now, there's no structural damage, and it sure doesn't involve the arm or the shoulder. What is he dealing with? And knowing that he hasn't pitched in almost a month, would you expect him back for the Mariners in this series against Detroit?
You know, it's going to be hard to say. I mean, if he's got a pec major muscle, so again, the pec muscles is the big chest muscles. He's right-handed, right? So he's coming by, and same thing we talked about Screwball, that, you know, what's going on. When he's fully extending, that's opening up that whole area of the big chest muscles. And there's 3 muscles in there. So the big pec muscle thinks everybody's okay. It's usually the ones underneath because you're getting that full extension up here, and you're kind of putting all your velocity through that along with the rest of the mechanics of your body. But that's really the starting point. You know, you look at the elbow, you look at the hand, you look at the placement. But inflammation and no tear and 4 weeks off, I think you may see him if there is a tight. But, you know, like I said, they got to be zero pain, 80 to 90% better, and be able to have productive. You know, he's got to have a velocity, right?
So well, yeah, I mean, he's a strikeout pitcher. He's got 198 strikeouts this year. He's got an ERA under 3, and he's got 15 knockouts. So yeah, I mean, I think part of what he relies on.
I think sitting him down back then was just with this thought and process. Let's get him where we need him and let him rest as long as we can. Yeah. So same thing we would do with, you know, our players.
Makes a lot of sense. You always make a lot of sense when you're in here. We appreciate the time, Doc. Have a great weekend.
All right, go Tigers.
All right, you bet. All right, Dr. Jeffrey Pierce, when we come back, we get to the mailbag.
Get those mailbag questions in the chat.
And smash that like button right here on the Braylon Edwards Show on Woodward Sports.
Hey.
Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. The Super Bowl parade in Detroit will be one for the record books. Detroit just does it different. Woodward Sports, your official Super Bowl or bust Lions network. Ever wonder what goes on inside the game?
Deep ball's got a man and got him. Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Join Braylon Edwards and Shep.
Edwards has it. 10, 5, touchdown.
On the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Lamar looks in zone. Got Edwards for the touchdown.
Where they dive deep into the heart of sports. Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m., they're bringing you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and a fresh perspective on the sports you love. Don't miss it, only on the Woodward Sports Network.
All right, back with you on the Braylon Edwards Show. Braylon has celebrating homecoming for the University of Michigan as they get ready to take on Wisconsin tomorrow at noon at the Big House, so he had to cut out of here. Want to get to the super chats, want to get to any chats that Kool-Aid can get to here in these final moments. But I do want to bring up one aspect, and that is I'm kind of blocking it, so let me move out of the way here. It is what Karl Anthony Towns recently said on a podcast. They were talking about the Pistons. And he said, I know Detroit firsthand. They're really, really, really good. One of the toughest teams we played all year. Sure, that was pretty obvious for us Pistons fans. But when you see, and look, a lot of people made fun of Karl Anthony Towns. He's a hell of a player. Don't tell me you wouldn't want him on your team. Bullcrap. Dude can stroke it from three. He posts up. He rebounds. If you didn't want him on your team, then you're just not a smart basketball person.
Look,
Are there other players you would want? Sure. But don't tell me Karl Anthony Towns wouldn't be one of those guys, okay? Plus, you get to use his nickname all the time.
Cat.
You can just refer to him as Cat all the time.
I don't
It's
think
just a
he's
meme,
I don't think
Shep.
he's a JB Bickerstaff guy.
Why? Because he's good? What are you talking about?
I don't think he's a JB Bickerstaff
Let
guy.
me ask you an honest question. Would you rather have a guy Karl Anthony Towns in his skill set or Isaiah Stewart?
Cat. I'll take the memes with him.
What'd you say?
I'll take the memes with Cat.
It's an interesting thing because we all agree, or at least most people do, and Isaiah Stewart was boisterous about it. If he was in that series, he believes that the Pistons are going forward.
Well, that's
I'm
what
still
he
taking
believes.
Cat.
Well, what's he going to say? Of course he believes that.
Shep,
I want
I
to
believe it too.
okay.
Look, I got my own vendetta against Karl Anthony Towns.
Can you put that aside? Is that possible?
He's a skilled basketball player.
Okay.
I'm taking him on this Pistons team. A forward that can take you off the dribble, space you out a little bit. I know I'm going to have some memes, but no, I absolutely want
Who
Cat
cares
on
about the
team.
memes?
Oh, no, I'm just saying he's a very meme-worthy
Right.
guy, but no, I will take the memes with it. I'm taking Cat. I'm taking Cat over Beef Stew. any day.
Look, and for me personally, that's where it gets so nuanced because I need to know that I have a player that when you got a player like Jalen Brunson, when you got some of the go hard, try hard guys on your team, like they had, like from Robinson to Mikal Bridges, you got to get your team beyond where you've gotten. And for me, if I'm taking on Karl Anthony Towns, that means I'm losing maybe one or two other players to make sure he's paid for.
No, I'm not asking you to trade for him. I'm not asking you to trade for him. I'm just asking you, do you want a guy who's a 5-time All-Star, a 3-time All-NBA player, and a guy who averaged 25 points and 13 rebounds a game last year? I don't think it's that
100%.
difficult of a question.
100%, Shep.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Absolutely.
Yeah, listen. In a world where I put all dislikes aside, yes.
Yeah.
He's one of the most skilled basketball players and probably the most skilled big man.
He's one of them.
NBA.
Yeah, I think he's one of them. I love Anthony Davis. I think he's one of them.
Yeah,
Are there things that he probably could get better at? Absolutely. Can you find me anybody in the NBA who can't get better at something? For sure. But I like that he acknowledged just how, not that we needed it from him, because we all can see with our own eyes how good the Pistons were a year ago. I love when we went to Media Day, the things that they had to say and how they are focused on getting better and how, Cade Cunningham, who did an incredible job leading last year, has, how much he matured last year, continues to do that. He's in better shape. He's getting stronger. He's attacking his weaknesses. They know they're not going to surprise teams any longer, but they've got LeVert and Robinson, and it's a full circle moment, and that, they're experienced with playoff basketball, those guys who bring in experience and know-how. And what Trajan Langdon said, tell me if you think I'm misreading this here, Kool-Aid, but both with high basketball IQs and how they've blended in so far. I think that's really important. Too many times we just look at the skill set on the floor. The coaches and the front office love the high basketball IQ. Both those guys are going to add to it. So I wanted to make sure people saw that quote because I think it's really cool, and it goes back to what, at least on Media Day, what the coaches and the front office were saying. They know they're not surprising teams.
Yeah, and it's not just coach speak. It's also when you hear it from other people, and it's not something that they have to go and talk about or questions that we have to coax out of them. It's like other people are going unprovoked and saying, look, they're not to be slept on this year.
Right. When we say players need to take another step, right, it's a cliche. Sometimes it drives me crazy. I say they've got to elevate their game, right, which is the same thing. But when they say they got to step up, it's like, okay, you've got to elevate your game. The Pistons have to elevate their game this year, and they know that because everybody else is going to – and not that they didn't in the second half last year. Trajan Langdon admitted that. J.B. Bickerstaff admitted that. In the second half of last season, they knew – other teams knew what they were getting. Maybe not in the first half of the season, but after a while they're like, holy crap, man. I mean, we're back from Vegas and the play-in tournament, which is really stupid. But you know what's not stupid? The way the Pistons play. They're tough to beat. And they know that this year. And they know that there's an opportunity for them to take that next step and that they have to do it together. It's refreshing that they know that. It's refreshing that they've talked about it. And it's refreshing that other teams have recognized just how good they can be and will be this year.
And I think it's refreshing, too, that they're finally doing something that I was hoping they'd be able to do sooner. But you know what? I'd rather sooner than even later. And that's being able to depend on their young guys to lead the charge.
Amen.
No longer having to find the right vets, but knowing that you got those guys. Because when we talk about Orlando Magic, it's about who, Paolo and Franz. We don't talk about anybody else. Everyone else is just support.
Some of the additions we do, but here in Detroit, you're right. When Asar Thompson's going to be an animal this year.
Yes.
Okay. Ron Holland is going to take a major leap, and that's why so many people believe this team is going to be even better than a year ago. Because, and maybe that's part of the reason, not that they didn't try to re-sign a guy like Tim Hardaway Jr. or a Malik Beasley, although there's an issue there, or a Dennis Schroeder, right? Because they see these two guys being, you know what? Boom. We're moving up a little bit.
Yep.
The Tigers didn't bring back Carson Kelly. Carson Kelly's had a really good series with the Cubs. He's had a good season with the Cubs. They saw Dylan Dingler on the rise. They knew he was going to be good. What do you need to do it for? Tim Patrick with the Lions. Like him a lot, right? You liked him a lot, Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Time to move on because we got another guy on the rise. That's how the Pistons are looking at it too, I do believe. All right.
You are dead spot on with it because what did J.B. Bickerstaff say to us at Media Day? Everyone says we got to get a guy. Our guys are our guys.
Our guys are that guy.
Yeah, and when we got to talk to Ron Holland yesterday, remember, he was the name that kept coming up. And I asked him, I said, what does it mean to you to have heard your teammates at Media Day say you're the one that stood out doing workouts? He was like, it means that, they've seen the work I put in and I'm not done. I've tightened up the handles, tightened up the shot. And so I do. I think there's a lot of what you're saying is what's going to go into play. Those vets were probably more expendable because they finally have a good track on internal growth and their leaders now being the Cade Cunninghams, the Isaiah Stewarts, the Asar Thompsons of the team rather than having to go and find voices for this
those
team.
Guys are going to rise to the occasion, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. It's been a fun week all week long here on the Braylon Edwards Show on Woodward Sports. We thank you for joining us in the chat. It's been awesome. It's always an honor to talk sports with you. We'll be back with you Monday here on the Braylon Edwards Show from 2 to 4. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy.
Goes on inside the game.
Deep ball's got a man and got him. Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Join Braylon Edwards and Shep.
Edwards has it. 10-5, touchdown.
On the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Lamar looks in zone. Got Edwards. Edwards for the touchdown.
Where they dive deep into the heart of sports. Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m., they're bringing you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and a fresh perspective on the sports you love. Don't miss it, only on the Woodward Sports Network.